Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Dumpster Diaries Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Justin Allen. I'm here with my buddy, Moses Wartooth, and we have a very special episode in store for you today. But first, we got to plug some of our sponsors of the show. Another fucking card game. Check it out in the description below. There's a link. If you're interested, you can order it, and we can have it shipped directly to your house. This is actually a really funny game, man. I mean, this is something... Like the best way to describe it is like Cards Against Humanity on steroids, right?
Yeah, just anything you liked about that game, this one's going to be better. Take
all the good shit, leave all the bad shit.
Yeah.
And that's what we got, man. So check it out in the description below. It is totally worth it. But, sorry, today's episode is really important because we have our guest, the very funny and the greatest Brandon Ryan here. Brandon is a local comedian in the East Texas region. Super funny. Love it, man. I love everything you're doing. He works with a company called Small Price Productions. Also, their link is going to be in our description. And they literally just host stand-up comedy in the rural East Texas region, man. So they're really out there fighting in the trenches.
Like Deb. Where we stay is in the trenches, let me tell you.
And so they're trying to bring laughter to everyone. So if you want to get some laughs in, man, hit a show. Just support the cause, man. Just check them out, man. Give them a like and subscribe, and we'll do that, man. But let's get this party started, man. So, Brandon, dude, thanks for coming in.
I feel like sitting at this table with this flag like this that we fixing to, you know what I mean? We fixing some announcements. Like I feel official. Now that I have the world watching, let me start my cult.
Hail to the chief playing in the background.
Yeah, right in the background. Like revolution.
Yeah, dude. It's actually. Do you want to hear the story about this flag?
What's the story?
It's not even like a funny story. It's a serious story. So Moses and I are both veterans. Like viewers of the show, they know this, right? Like he did time in Afghanistan. I was in Iraq and stuff. So this flag was actually flown in combat missions in Iraq and Syria, which is why. So this is why it's under glass and it comes with a certificate. Yeah,
that's what's up. Now I feel even more like a peasant. Thank you.
No, dude.
Can I ask y'all a question?
Yeah, sure.
What was the convincing line that they gave y'all to say, hey, come play in the sandbox for a little bit? Money?
For me, yeah.
Okay, money?
I don't really go into detail, but I was kind of like getting in some trouble when I was 18.
I get the fuck out of here. So.
Yeah, it was
over there.
Yeah.
Well, did you like camping? Yeah, I like camping.
Bring it in, motherfucker.
Do you like the beach? There's sand here too.
Yeah.
Do you like the beach? Yeah. Well, we had to bring your own water.
Yeah. Well, when we joined, it was just like, dude, you can do whatever you want, just don't be gay. Because it was don't ask, don't tell. You know?
So I was like, 2001, 2002, 2003. I tried to enlist, but I didn't know that you weren't supposed to tell me that you were crazy.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, no, I'm going to go over there and blow shit up. But somebody had just thrown a grenade in a tent.
Oh,
like
fuck.
The week before, they're like, no, if you got any kind of issue, no, you need to learn how to lie better.
Yeah, no shit, right?
So I was like, all right, well, I'm just not going to go. So then I just decided to get fat, so.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a good experience, man, but you didn't miss much, man. You know, it's
It was probably a better experience than what I had. That probably...
You become really efficient at finding ways to masturbate, is what I've noticed. Like, that's about it, dude.
I figure, like, with the wake-up call time, I'd be very efficient at going to the brick.
Yeah. 4:30 in the morning.
Oh, man, just anytime, man. I need at least 4 hours. Dude, I heard y'all wouldn't get no 4 hours over there.
No, dude, because they make you do, what do they call it, CE duty? Like, It's basically guard duty, like when you're doing all your training and stuff. So they're like, okay, you're allocated 6 hours of sleep or whatever it may be, but you have to do a 2-hour shift.
Yeah, in between that, you're going to get woken up and having to do, like, pace around, answer the door. Someone's going to have to give you a code to get inside.
Backing out.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. I'm going to the brig. I got narcolepsy. I'm going to take some naps.
Dude,
I would have lasted 2 weeks. I'm like, no, you got to get the fuck out of here.
Dude, I know you've talked about your narcolepsy, so really, let's get on this. Like, so who is Brandon Ryan? That's what we really need to get into.
That is a great question. I don't even know who I am, actually. I mean, my comedy is based just on a 40-year-old with a failed life. You know what I mean? Like, y'all did cool shit. Like, y'all went to y'all went overseas. Y'all fought in combat. Y'all seen some places. I've never really left East Texas.
Yeah, right on. Homegrown, right?
I was born in Florida, though.
No shit.
So I'm like a Florida man that was raised in East Texas.
Dude, that's a good combo.
That's some fucked up genes to have.
Yeah.
Now you're thinking, oh, well, it can't be that bad. See, 86, that was mid-cocaine cowboy era on a small town outside of Tampa, so everybody's smoking crack. I'm the third of like 8 children, right?
I'm trying to run a show, but I'm legit laughing.
Yeah, well, no, definitely third generation crack smoker.
Drugs are bad, kids.
She was 15. I swear to God, I don't know why she kept having children after that. That was my problem. I always thought I was the youngest of 3. Then I grew up and found out there was 5 more. Like, this bitch is
damn.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, I heard you talk about it like in one of your sets, I think, man, if I remember right, dude. And I was like, what the fuck? And I wondered, I was like, is this true? Because, sometimes bits, you exaggerate a little bit.
Oh, no.
Not you, but like people in general.
Bro. She didn't have children. She had
full on litters.
Fucking litter.
And it's crazy. Like, I've never met her in person, but the first time I talked to her on the phone, she's like, you shouldn't smoke. That's a bad habit. Bitch, the audacity.
The goddamn audacity you have.
You won't tell me nothing. Woo! I said, no, that ship's done passed, man. You can't tell me what to do. You had 26 years to be a mama. You can't just show up and do that. No.
Yeah.
We're going to have to go to Dr. Phil Moore or something. We're going to have to work this shit out on TV. But, and I'm actually the most probably well-rounded. We're all fucked up. Like,
really?
There's not one that's not fucked up. The smartest one is my sister Kelly. She does sign language and shit, takes care of special needs
like
kids.
What is it?
ASL?
ASL. American Sign Language. Yeah.
She has the only other A that has a degree. I have a brother. I'll take that back. My older brother Josh. He's a writer. He's a poet.
Okay.
Oh shit.
But he's from Oklahoma. He's like real liberal and shit. So
yeah,
we can't talk about politics. We talk about wrestling and conspiracy theories.
Right on.
we all got a relative we don't like to talk about.
Everyone's got that Thanksgiving conversation. Like, don't talk to Uncle Jim about.
That's the best time to break out the politics is Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude.
Sometimes I just like to play devil's advocate.
It's a goddamn war zone. If you do that shit.
When Biden was in office, I'm like, how about that Joe Biden? You like that new policy? 45 minutes. Goddamn Joe Biden.
Oh, dude, like when I met my girlfriend's like family, dude, like I show up, I got like spiked hair, I got a lip ring in and shit and stuff, some edgy ass facial hair, and they're just like, what do you believe in? It was good. I fooled them. I had them go, man. Yeah, be surprised.
No, man. So my comedy stems from, I got hurt and I had to sit at the house for a while. Now, we didn't have shit to do.
When you got hurt, man, like how old were you? Were you a kid or?
2022.
What happened
2023. I fell off a ladder.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
Gravity took hold. So
get your ass back down.
Well, so it's fucked up. Y'all heard the story of Achilles' heel? He was invincible other than his heel, right?
Yeah.
I've always thought I was invincible.
Hill.
I know I look like a fucking sweet potato. I got that maple syrup blood. But for the most part, other than narcolepsy, I'm pretty goddamn healthy. You know what I mean? I go through a brick wall. Well, I fell, and all my weight landed on my left foot. And that heel said, not today. And it fucking broke it like that and shoved it up my leg. And
Jesus Christ, man.
Luckily, I had, workers' comp insurance.
Yeah.
Which is basically y'all have had Army, medical treatment.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's about 4 tiers lower than that.
That's pretty bad, dude. That's pretty bad.
He didn't even have a DeWalt drill. He brought in a fucking Ryobi and a slide hammer from fucking Harbor Freight. And so they put that back together. They used a little piece of tin, I guess, and some cheap drywall screws. And so I've been walking on that for the last couple of years. Well, the first 7 months, I was in the bed. Just fucking eating Doritos, not walking and shit. Had to learn how to walk. And it's dumb because that little injury in my size caused me to have to, I lost the ability to walk.
No shit. Yeah,
so
rehab
through that, start walking on the cane. Ain't got shit to do. Me and a buddy see this place called Rose City Comedy in Tyler, Texas. We go.
Yeah.
Oh man, I think I can do that. I used to watch comedy.
So this is like the first time that you would actually do stand up, though.
Yeah, it was just 5 minute, little 3-5 minute open mics.
Yeah.
And it's a great. Where it was at the time was like a little small box, and that small box, little room, brought everybody close together. So it was just a great place to do it.
Yeah.
And then I just never stopped. But I got to work up, 9 to 5 like everybody
caught the bug,
else.
man.
So I try to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you caught the bug, man.
Well, luckily, I've been put in the principal's office and kicked out of class so many times as a kid. I kind of had a leg up on everybody else. Because what I noticed real quickly is like, there's all these college kids and shit, real smart, you know what I mean? So we got some autistic ones over here. We got some college boys over here. And they trying to learn how to be funny.
Yeah, we got some people still trying to figure out who they are.
Right, they're 19, 20, early 20s. I'm like, man, I used to get punched for the shit I say. Didn't nobody tell me they would pay me for it. If I'd have known that, I'd have been getting punched for money. Yeah. I'm just saying offensive shit, getting punched and not getting no money. Going to jail.
Doing it for free.
Right. But I just, when I was in my 20s and my late teens, I was just all fucked up. Drug addict, going to jail. Then I had kids and I got scared. And I was like, oh shit, now I got to do something. Now, I worked professionally and shit, never even thought of it. And then there was that little when I got hurt, there was nothing to do.
Yeah.
And that's when it dawned, it just happened. The universe has a strange way of happening. It's kind of like when you said that you wanted me on your podcast, and then you told me the names. I was like, damn, he wants a dumpster baby on the Dumpster Diaries Podcast? I said, if that ain't the fucking universe coming together, I don't know what is.
What happens when unstoppable force meets an immovable object?
Exactly.
It's like no one really knows. Yeah, dude. Yeah. It was great, man. Yeah.
Shit, where was I? Oh,
you're good. Telling your story, man. You had kids. You got in some trouble, and
kids, fun, and
Now, how old were you when you had kids, man?
23 was the first one.
That's young.
Yeah,
it's not young, but it's.
And I had no idea what the fuck I was doing.
Yeah, it's scary.
That was a mistake. Well, not a mistake, but it was an accident.
Now, now around that time, did you have like the comedy bug, man, already, or were you just? I'm
just an asshole, man. Just out there just talking shit.
Just pissed
off. My whole life just talking shit. Half of my followers that know me that lived with me and seen this every day, man. It's just, I was like I was telling you off camera, when I clock in is when I go into character.
Sure.
Because if I don't go into character, I get fired at every fucking job. Like, I've had so many jobs, I'm a professional at job interviews. I can tell you what questions they're going to ask, how to ask it, where to look at them at the face. Like, because when you look at people, sometimes people don't like to make eye contact. Stare at their nose.
Yeah.
They'll never know the difference.
Yeah.
And then you don't get nervous. I try to teach my kid that shit. She don't know. I was like, goddamn, at least you're pretty.
Yeah, man.
She ain't never going to get a job.
So you get hurt, and you're like, fuck it. Like, I love comedy. I think I can do this, right? So you find, the comedy outlet in East Texas, in Tyler, and so you do your first 5 minutes. Like, and how does it go, man? Like, did you?
The first one went great.
Really?
And then it bombed for like 7 after that.
Were you telling the same material?
No. I already had. So me and a buddy of mine that sat down and we sit in the truck and we'd hash out some things that we'd write out.
Sure.
And the first joke I ever told was the one where I took a 23andMe and it come back that I was like 50% Neanderthal. You know what I mean? Which is no fucking surprise. But then also, like, my brother's nephew is actually my cousin. So
okay, dog, that's a lot to unpack right there.
We'll circle back to that one. Because that's a true story. Yeah. And then the punchline was, so I wasted $150 to take a test. She just told me I was an inbred Neanderthal. And it fucking killed the room. I'm like, all right, I got something here. Then that addiction hit in. Like, oh, dopamine. Like, oh,
everything I do is going to be great.
Yeah, right. This is going to be awesome.
Yeah, this is easy. Let's do this.
Yeah, then you eat shit and you're like, oh my God.
Yeah. Because I've done a little bit of stand-up comedy in the past, like just open mics, nothing crazy, man, because podcasting is really my thing, man. That's what I really enjoy doing. But I love stand-up comedy, and that's how we linked up and, supporting each other and all this stuff. But, dog, I would say 3 out of 4 times I eat shit. And it's a humbling experience.
Oh, I went to Dallas, and when I tell you I did that first joke, and I heard a little mumble, must have been the rats in the back fucking eating some cheese is what I heard. Yeah. Hit that second joke, nothing. All right, so we're 10, 15 seconds in, right? And it feels like 5 minutes already.
In literature, they call this foreshadowing.
Dude, I hit the third joke. I literally see the room Have you ever seen a room get quiet?
Yeah, dude. Oh, God.
Like any glow, the lights dim a little bit. You start hearing whistling sounds in your ears, like a fucking train horn. You're like,
I'll tell you my story in a little bit, man. I fucked up bad.
bro, it's going to be a long 4 minutes as you sit there and you sweat.
So, dude, it really is the longest 5 minutes of your life. It really is. And that's why, like, I hate, like, when people talk about stand-up comedy and they're like, oh, I can do it. That's easy. Because it looks easy. It looks like you're just on stage and you're talking to people and you're talking about what you want to talk about and you're having laughs and shit. But they don't realize, like, it's a lot of work, man. And you can have the best material in the world, but just have the wrong crowd.
That's true.
You know?
And first thing everybody's going to tell you is all you got to do is be funny. Well, yes, you can be funny, but you're not always going to be funny with the crowd. Mm-hmm. What you need to learn is what it feels like to eat shit. You have to, so y'all are conditioned to go through high stress environments, right?
Yeah.
How many times did you have to go through that before it became just something that you're accustomed to?
Sure. Yeah.
Right?
Like it doesn't even faze you anymore.
Same thing on stage.
No shit.
A lot of times when I go do an open mic, sometimes I know I'm fixing to go up here and eat shit, get through it just so you know what the feeling feels like. Mm-hmm. So when it matters in a theater in front of a lot of people,
yeah,
you know exactly what you need to do next.
Yeah.
And because I never did public speaking. So I didn't go to any kind of class. I didn't have any kind of training. So I had to learn this the hard way.
Just figured it out.
And I started looking at it kind of like science because everybody goes to the comedy Bible. Read the comedy Bible. Read the comedy Bible. Not everybody can go to a class and learn shit.
Yeah.
I know plenty of welders, plenty of metal fabricators that can't fucking read. But they can do math, they can do geometry, and they can weld.
And that's not even a joke. That's a real thing. Because, like, Moses and I, we know people in the community who are older, great at what they do. Like, these are older gentlemen, but they literally cannot actually read. Like, it's a real thing. I mean, it's sad.
Actually, there's a literal millionaire in our town who's made a fortune. He's over 65 now. He dropped out in the 7th grade. He has no formal education whatsoever, and he's one of the richest people around.
Yeah. Isn't that wild?
But a lot of people, like you're saying, are just visual learners. They have to actually do the task. You can't just read out of a book and be expected to perform.
Sure, yeah.
That's exactly right. And that's what a lot of these comedians don't get. Like, you don't have to follow just a certain process, dude. Mm-hmm. Be funny, but also learn how to take the anxiety. Also, because you take that once you're good, it's like, what is it, sharpening a blade? You got to, put it against metal, sharpen steel, sharpen steel, or whatever they call it. Yeah. It's the same thing.
Dude, because, like, even before, like, anytime I've had, like I said, just open mics and stuff, dude, it's anxiety, heart beating. It is, like, I feel like I smoke crack. And I'm not liking it. It's like, what? But then you get up there and, like, for me, at least personally, like, it's almost like you black out for a while. Where you're just, like, kind of, detach yourself from what's actually happening out there in the crowd and all that stuff, man, And it's, I don't know, it'll humble you, man. It'll test you.
It will. But when it's good, it's the best high. As someone that has experienced just about every high there is to experience, I don't, man. I mean, the high of killing in a room, right up there with sex, bro. I don't know, man. Because it's a lot less work to kill in a room than it is, get that climax on sex. I'm a big old boy. I got a lot to hold up.
Because I got fucked up. Because the first time I did it, I was like, okay. But the second time I did it, I fucking killed. And then I was chasing that buzz, and I just ate shit, like nonstop. Because I thought everything was going to be easy and good.
It is a habit.
Yeah.
It is a habit that forms to what we all want. We all want to be liked. We all want that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you was in class as a kid, that class clown, when you say, okay, everybody laugh, and you get that little tingling buzz in the back of your head, don't you do it no more and you get in trouble, that stays with you. You know what I mean? And it's just that, there's a lot of mentally unwell people in comedy. And it ain't hard to find. No, dude. Majority of them are standing outside the Comedy Mothership on Sunday.
Yeah. Have you been to that club?
I have not because, man.
We've been a couple times, man. Like, and it's, dude, Did
y'all stand in the line outside in the alleyway? Or?
We did.
And, how was that?
Dude,
entertaining.
Entertaining is an easy way to put it, man. It is crackhead city all around there. Like, I mean, the club is nice. It's everything perfect for comedy. Perfect. Once you get in. But you set foot outside, Jesus Christ. You ever seen that TV show, The Last of Us? That's what we're dealing with right there, man. Like, it's like literally open war on the streets.
Yeah, third world country.
What is it, fucking India right now? Yeah,
See,
dude.
and that right there is one of my deterrents. deterrence from even getting involved in that. I feel like we should be able, if we all got together as comedians and podcasters, we could create something here.
All right.
Because this is our side of the state. I mean, they're 4 hours
exactly.
away.
Yeah, fuck them, dude. Yeah, they're all out in West. I mean, I like what they're doing. I support it and stuff. But, like, dude, we got our own shit to sell, man.
What's that old rich man used to say? Hustle until you ain't got to introduce yourself, and then they ask you to come over. That's the goal. That's any man's goal, right?
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, but somebody let me ride on their coattails.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I have no problem accepting that. I'm a very humble individual. You know what I mean? I got bills to pay like everybody else. But, you know what I mean? You can't spend all your money. I see everybody spend all their money, their energy, all that into 1 minute of fame that you're not even guaranteed after that. Because, okay, you're funny for a minute. Can you do an interview?
Can you do it
again? Can you do it next week?
Yeah.
Can you do it 4 weeks in a row?
And that's kind of what, that brings me to one thing I wanted to break down with you, Brandon, is Kill Tony. Now, I like the show. It's hilarious. It's funny. They give anyone 1 minute, and some people get up there and kill, but then they do interviews, and they get a following after, and they just fade into the void because they can't handle all the shit that comes with it, you know?
Well, it's a different lifestyle.
Yeah.
So if you're going to indulge yourself into the comedy scene and you're going to be an entertainer, you can't work a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
If you're going to do it full time and you're going to do the task, let's say you go to Kill Tony, you get the big joke book. You're going to have to go on at least once or twice to get on the team that is that team that Tony Hinchcliffe has.
Maybe you get a golden ticket, whatever.
With. Okay. Yeah. So once you leave, you get to that point, everything you know at home stops. Your family has to stop, your job has to stop because you're doing this. Yeah. You can't do both.
Yeah, you have to commit.
So, where does that leave people that have jobs and home, families, mortgages? All right? You have to make a decision at that point. Yeah. Once you get on Kill Tony, as soon as you're on and you're on the fucking, well, I guess it's Netflix now or YouTube.
Well, yeah, he just did an episode just one episode on Netflix, but he's
once
primarily
there,
on YouTube.
Everybody wants you on their podcast.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And everybody wants you on your podcast. If you get some viral moments from that podcast, then it builds. But the guys that are your William Montgomerys, your Cam Pattersons, your all of those guys have been doing this for years. Yeah. It seems like they haven't, but they have.
Yep. And so I've actually met Cam and I've talked to him about it. So a few times Moses and I went down to Austin. We met a lot of people that have been on that show, and we were just hanging out at the creek in the cave right there off of 6th Street. I think it's on 5th Street, actually. Yeah. It's like a street over. And, man, they're not the same people you see on stage. They're professionals. They write. They spend a lot of time. I know it seems like relaxed. It's late night. People are having drinks, smoking, whatever, having a good time, laughs.
They're working.
They are working, man.
They make them boys work like that. And let me tell you something. What I've heard about Austin, that's one of the best places. If you're going to do open mics, you need to take the Pilgrims down there. Yeah, try to get on Kill Tony. Sure. Yeah, it's always, but work that strip.
For sure.
And work it hard. And here's the reason why. Because the jokes that you tell across the state over here, nobody's heard those before.
Yeah.
And it's a different type of crowd there. It's more of a California energy because all that shit came from, to Austin. So you're going to get a better gauge in Austin than you might get in Dallas.
Sure.
Because Dallas is a whole nother realm. It is its own state within the state.
I have heard, so I've never done comedy or been to comedy shows in Dallas, but I have heard stories like that is like its own island, they have their own language. It's like their own tribe. It's like what's that fucked up island off the coast of India that people keep trying to get, where like people try to go to teach about Christianity and shit and they just get killed.
The one where they eat people?
Yeah, I can't remember the fucking name of it. We all know what I'm talking about. Yeah. They're still using bows and arrows.
Over there, they're throwing spears
at them. They're literally in the Stone Age still. Yeah, that's not saying a bad thing about Dallas, but just that is that different.
Their dogs don't even shit in grass up there. The dogs shit on the sidewalk. What kind of humanity is that where dogs shit on the sidewalk?
Yeah. It's like, Jesus.
My dog will bite me if we don't get to the grass.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I get it, man. I got a puppy German Shepherd right now I'm trying to train, and Jesus Christ, man.
Man, you can get you one of them collars that has it's not a shock collar. It's got some shock to it, but it's got that beep on there. Yeah. Boy, once they understand what that beep means, all I gotta say is dogs, and here they come. It's nice.
Is it work for you?
Yeah.
Really?
That little $40 thing I got from Tractor Supply, man. Just a little, because really, the vibe on the German Shepherd, she has a thick coat.
Yeah.
So you might have to use the shock once or twice, but once you do the positive reinforcement with that beep, and there's like 16 different types of beeps.
Yeah.
So that right there is all she needs.
Yeah.
And you do that for a couple of months, man. You don't even have to use it at a certain point.
Shit.
The positive reinforcement.
Does it work on girlfriends?
Huh?
Does it work on girlfriends?
It just takes longer.
Now that you got to use a little bit of chocolate.
It's a different method, but essentially
you got
it's
to
the
mix
same,
a
right?
little tequila over here, throwing some grenadine, chocolate, light a candle, slide it next to her bathtub. She gets real like out of pocket. Put a toaster next to the tub just in case. Would you like some toast?
But
Just
yeah,
let her know you're serious.
but dude, Brandon, you got to be one of the funniest guys that I've met. And you're one of the few guys really promoting comedy in East Texas, man. So let's talk a little bit about Small Press Productions, man.
Okay, yeah, no. So Dakota,
Yeah.
actually, Dakota is the owner
And that's Dakota Price.
of Dakota. What's his last name?
Price.
Is it Price?
Yeah, Small
Why
Price.
did I want to say Harris? I don't know why I wanted to say Harris, but it's Dakota Price. Sorry, Dakota.
A symptom of cannabis use is often memory loss, ladies and gentlemen.
I cannot confirm or deny such allegations. Last time I checked,
we don't support that. Yeah.
CBD was legal in the state of Texas. I held a stamp, sir.
Yeah.
But-
You just can't do it on camera. But anyway, man, I didn't mean to cut you off. Yeah, so let's talk about Small
Price Productions. He started this. He brought this in from California.
Yeah, because
And,
it was San Francisco, right?
Yeah, San Francisco or one of those comedy
Sandy.
cities that he was staying
Those
in.
comedy. One of those
Where
sands he
people
was in.
sleep on the streets.
Yeah. I was like, Jesus Christ. This
Yeah,
is
right here, $600 a month. You right here can sleep on Main Street. We got you a nice refrigerator box. Outdoor plumbing. Only when it rains. But no, he went to California. He was gonna be a famous comedian. He got there. He was probably there about a year. Like, man, this shit sucks. He was like,
hard as fuck.
well, yeah, it's expensive. It's hard as fuck.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm coming back to Texas. I said, come on back. So we started doing. He got us really cinched up with Yellow Rose Canyon.
Yeah.
And Yellow Rose Canyon, I believe, is all owned by Oliver Peck, that famous tattoo artist.
Yeah.
He bought a place that used to be called the Crater in Mount Enterprise.
Yeah.
And it's a venue. They do biker rallies and stuff.
They do a little bit of everything.
Yeah,
They
it's
have
pretty
lodge.
big.
They have food. They have an RV place.
It's really nice. I know it's kind of like, would say in the middle of nowhere, but like, holy shit.
That's
like,
where you get the scenery, though.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
where you get lodge
Yeah.
there. You get that sunset. You get that sunrise.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And there's less rules. You can do more shit out
Oh
there.
man, it's
so-
private property.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stargazing out there's very low light, like light pollution, so you get really good stargazing on right.
And they have
nights.
like a really badass outdoor stage.
Dude, they do.
They do.
Whenever we
Like
went
that-
there a few months back, we were impressed with the whole setup. Like, it was fucking nice.
The goal was eventually get like a comedy festival.
That would be
Yes.
awesome.
That
That'd be a perfect
was-
spot for that.
Let's fucking do it. Let's fucking go, man. Let's talk about it, dude.
That is the dream.
Yeah, I don't believe in coincidence, man. Everything happens for a fucking reason. I don't think it's a coincidence you're
But
on
he's
this
been
fucking show
booking
talking
here in
about
East
that.
Texas for the better part of a year.
Yeah.
I mean, we just did the Warriors Brotherhood Club Friday. You were there.
Yeah, down Nacogdoches. Yeah.
Where he's actually just brought me on officially in the last couple of weeks. I was finally funny enough to get a job. More like internship because it ain't a pay.
So you're officially a part.
Love of the game.
So you're officially a part of the team of Small Price Productions. The easiest way to find them, ladies and gentlemen, is on Facebook. So for our local listeners, go to there, check them out. Small Price Productions. You will.
It'll be the
satisfied.
yellow smiley face, can't miss it.
Yeah, link will be in the description of this.
So
video.
you're officially a part of the team. So Dakota brought you on. Like, was like, hey man, like Brandon, like, is that funny?
Yes.
Like, and he's that dedicated to this.
Well, that I know. I meet comedians. I know comedians that
Yeah.
we both work full time. So
Yeah.
I get to places he's not able to get to. It's like this Friday we brought in Glenn Stewart, Garrett Nelson, the newcomer
Hilarious.
Chad. We brought him in, brought him down.
Yeah. Chad
And-
Hansen. Yeah.
And then it was a great show. Those guys did really good.
Yeah.
And the goal is I want to do every theater from Texarkana to Beaumont.
Yeah.
We got the Pines Theater in Lufkin. I want to try to convince them. I mean, we got Rio Theater. Because these little theaters do like 250 seats.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you can do if you book them,
Churn 'em
spend
out.
3 to 6 months advertising, sell the tickets,
Yeah.
and then you have the position to actually film. Dude, you can get quality comedy, and it
Yeah.
gives everybody a chance to do these small theaters. It brings something back to the community.
Yeah,
it gives people something to do.
That's exactly. It gives
biggest
local people somewhere to go, because not everyone can go to fucking Austin or Dallas. Like, people want to go 10 minutes down the road.
And the biggest complaint that you always hear is like, there's nothing to do in East Texas.
Yes.
There's nothing here, you know? And it's just like, well, there's a potential.
Yes.
If you show up and you support it, and it is that funny, it is worth the $10, $15, $20 to get a ticket and go see a show hosted by Small Price Productions. Like, I'm just saying, ladies and gentlemen, it's not...
It's cheaper than going to the fucking movie theater.
They don't even sponsor the show. We're just doing this just to be like, hey, we support your cause. That's where it's really at, man. You know, and it's just like, yeah, man, like, let's fucking do it, man. Let's fucking work together, dude. And anytime you have... you know, comedians or any kind of talent coming through, man, and you want to give them a voice, they are always more than welcome on this platform, man.
Appreciate it, man. We really appreciate it. And and a lot of people in East Texas kind of, $20 to, you know. Let me tell you something right now. When I bring these guys in, I look for guys that I would pay $30 to go see in the show.
Mm-hmm.
I would pay my own money to that. I'm not going to sit here and tell everybody that I'm the funniest motherfucker walking, but I will tell you that if I ain't the funniest, I'm going to bring at least 2 or 3 guys that are funnier
that are the funniest.
Somebody you're going to like.
You know what I'm saying? And so when you go, you're going to get a 60 to 90 minute show, depending on who we book, for $20. Mm-hmm. Normally we're going to book a place where there's going to be alcohol.
Yeah.
You got to wet the whistle, got to get everybody nice and loose.
Yeah, comedy and drinking.
Yeah, I'm a drinker. If you're an asshole, you would call it an alcoholic. But
Try to get food there, you know what I mean? We're working on the food. Sometimes we have venues. There's a venue in Timpson that we're looking at. Looks like it's got lodging, kitchen, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We want to be able to bring comedy to as many places and get as many comedians on stage.
Sure,
yeah,
absolutely.
Because in East Texas, there's only so many ways to get stage time. Majority of that is Shreveport, Tyler, open mics.
Well, I talked to Dakota the other day. I said it's literally the best way that I describe it is it's like shoveling shit uphill. Like, you want to achieve it, you want to do it, but it's just so hard, and it's like everything is fighting against you. Comedy is just a difficult thing to bring, but everyone loves it whenever they see it. So it's weird.
Any new business, you got to eat shit for 2 years.
Yeah.
So if you was to start a new business tomorrow, you would have to have enough capital to make no money for 2 years.
Yeah.
Now, in comedy, unless you have the same thing would have to apply.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's investing full time. You have to expect to make no money for the first 2 years. But if you can get through that first 2 years, if you can get through that first 12 months, man, if you build it, they will come. Kevin Costner. Praise Jesus.
Some Children of the Corn shit.
God bless Jesus and Kevin Costner.
But yeah, I think it's good, man. Like, and it brings like good. I use the term clean loosely, but good, clean fun to like a community, man.
All right, so wait a minute. Let me. All right. Come on in here. Let me talk to y'all for something about this clean comedy. Y'all go to work every day, 9 to 5. 9 to 5. You got to clock in. You got to say yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. You have to be appropriate. When you come and buy a ticket to my show, we going to be inappropriate. We going to let loose. We going to talk about Nana. We're going to talk about Papa's Vicodin and Viagra prescription and how they get it confused. You know what I mean? This ain't the time. Comedy is not. There is clean comics out there, and they are funny.
Sure. Yeah.
But you need a little bit more. You need to loosen up in your life, especially you older folks. Y'all ain't got much left on this world. Jesus ain't going to be mad at you for laughing at inappropriate jokes. It's okay. And we know you're nasty. We know you're nasty. Everybody's papa had 9 kids. Well, y'all wasn't doing nothing else but fucking.
Like, we are totally aware.
It's always the people that go to church, some old hoes that go to church.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're like, oh, you need to be married before you move in with a woman. Woman, wasn't you a hoe back in 45? Didn't you work in a saloon? I had an aunt who used to judge me all the time. Didn't you know I found out she had 3 husbands and was a prostitute before Harry Hines was a
Dude, why do I feel like
was
you're
involved in bank robberies?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a bit. These are true stories. This is why we have Brandon Ryan on the show right now, man. He can't afford therapy, so he's just coming on to our show.
My work actually provides free therapy, but I missed the last 2 months, so I'm a little built up, got a little stressed. But now, from the shows, we have a good time. It's about laughing. I'm going to say all the inappropriate shit that you would hear at a bar.
Yeah.
And that's because that's what I see. That's what I know. Yeah, I might have eventually come with some kind of intellectual, great inspiration I can leave them with, but it probably won't happen.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not somebody you should take seriously, but my love is for the game. Like I see the love of comedy, the game of comedy, the booking of shows, how it all comes together, the lighting, because I want to get to where we start actually putting videos. And the videos, because I don't think it's just about booking local shows, local venues. Mm-hmm. I think it's about taking that, creating footage, putting it out there.
Absolutely.
And that's where the money is.
So I will tell you this, man. So Dumpster Diaries Podcast, so Moses and I, we did start like a legitimate company, CCM Media, that owns this podcast, right? And so one thing, we have future projects we want to work on. We're going to start expanding into sketch comedy. And I hadn't even talked about this to Brandon before, so this is the first time you're hearing about it. What we want to do is we want to start filming sketch comedy in the local area, and we hope that you guys could have some talent that can come in and do that stuff. It could be you, it could be other people to help out, but like we want to expand on things. So also too, what I want to say, you talk about having to film at some of these shows. I'm going to do a soft commitment and say that like Moses and I can actually probably help you guys out with that.
Man, that would be great. And I'm sure we can all come together. We figure out something. Because eventually, if we do everything right, we're going to actually sit down and come to a meeting. It's like, oh my God, we actually fucking did something. Oh shit, it's working. Something happening. What do we do now? But no, man.
When do we tell the IRS?
Right? Because I'll be honest, man, I'm not even doing this for the money because I ain't made shit. Like, Dakota takes care of me. Comedians, by the way, Dakota will take care of it. He ain't like all these other promoters. Don't pay his talent. We pay our comedians.
I have seen it personally.
I have not taken money to make sure the next comedian got money because I was like, man, I live close. Let him get it. And I ain't in it for the money.
That's why you're on our show, man.
Appreciate that.
Like, no shit. Like, we see it. We can see through the bullshit. Not everyone gets a seat, man. I know we ain't Joe Rogan or some shit, but like,
man, that's everybody. So Joe Rogan was only the catalyst because of, and it took 20 years to get there. So you know what I mean? Everybody, all these fucking people that were born in like 2005. Just so y'all know, he was like the fucking Fear Factor guy.
Yeah, that's nobody.
And I didn't know short. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I remember
he's a really short
show.
5'6". Like,
I know the Man Show when he was on the Man Show was better than it was when fucking
Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah, Jimmy
Adam
Kimmel.
Carolla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kimmel turned on.
Adam Carolla's still cool.
Adam Carolla cooler than the other side of the pillow.
Yeah.
He's the same
Kimmel
fucking guy.
really
He ain't changed.
I think Kimmel got that money.
He did. He got that fucking late time talk show bullshit.
Dude.
So early 2000s, you used to be able to get to Dallas radio where I lived.
Yeah.
And what was that? Love Line would come on in the middle of the night and shit. And I couldn't sleep and shit. So I'd always listen to Alan Carolla and that Dr. What is that?
Yeah.
Dr. Drew?
Oh, Dr. Drew. Yeah, Dr. Drew.
Yeah. Adam Carolla. And I remember him from the Man Show. He's the exact same person.
Yeah, he didn't change.
His whole psychological aspect of helping people was don't be a fucking whore.
Yeah,
man, that's
what was it? The ziggy zaggy?
Yeah.
Chuck beers at the end and shit.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember being a kid in like middle school and watching that shit on
Yeah, dude, I
Comedy
love that.
Central.
They were like, and now more girls bouncing on trampolines. Like,
yeah.
This is awesome. The Man Show for me was like my first time ever smoking marijuana. I watched two girls make out. The drug dog has lost this fucking.
Well, because they would have like bitches jumping on trampolines and shit for the intro, just big old titties bouncing around in bikinis.
I'm here for it. 9:30 on FX. I'm sitting on the edge of the bed, pillow on my lap. Please don't open the door. Got that remote control with the fucking, that recall on it.
On
Right
recall,
back
like,
to Disney Channel.
Yeah, I was just watching the news. Don't worry. Yeah, it was a David Attenborough documentary. And then
One eye
the
on
line
TV,
goes-
one eye on that doorknob.
That's how you know you're a product of like the 90s. And
Yeah,
80s, man.
yeah.
Like, for real.
Dude, the
They don't-
TV recall, man. That was what it was.
If you didn't have that down, you were fucked.
Back in my day, we had dial-up, so to watch porn,
Bro,
you got mail.
Moses and I, because we grew up together. We were kids together, man. So we used to use like LimeWire and download, because we lived in a rural area, so we had dial-up, man. So we would download. It would take like 3 days to download a Limp Bizkit song.
Yeah, dude, I remember I tried to download a Korn Y'all Want to Single, that music video. It took me 2 fucking days, and when I finally got it downloaded, it was a virus. It fucked my whole computer up.
And, you remember like back in the day too, like the family computer, everyone had the computer in like the living room, like everyone had access to it, right? Like it wasn't like it is today. And so then like Moses and I don't know how many fucking goddamn family computers we have destroyed. Like throughout like our teenage years.
Yeah.
Man. Like, you know.
You hit that old man. A song. I used to download LimeWire and burn CDs off of LimeWire, right?
Yep.
And then you still, you got your porn over there. I remember you go to download a video, it's 8 hours until completion. And then you would hear the fan on the CPU. We had these big box CPUs back then. That fan would kick on like fucking an Air Force ship. And you could just feel the heat off that sucker. Jesus Christ. As you're downloading that online STD.
Yeah.
And the whole shame of clicking the song and all of a sudden your computer blows up and files and shit start shooting everywhere. And you're like, oh, I fucked up.
Let me ask you, man. Like, so do you prefer it like it used to be in the '90s and stuff, or do you prefer it now?
Man, that shit was terrible back then. I didn't know shit. I like the fact that we got the age of information. If I want to know something, I ain't got to go ask somebody that acts like they know what they do.
Yeah.
I can actually go find, like, the car guy. There's an old school car guy. I think he died. It does nothing but like mechanic work on TV.
Yeah.
I wish I could remember his name. But I learned how to work on cars a lot that I didn't know by just watching him.
Sure.
I couldn't go ask my dad shit. He didn't know a fucking thing about cars. Like, I did not have a strong male role model in my life. My mom's idea of a strong role model male figure in life was a guy whose ass she couldn't whoop. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm happy at that because the age of information has given me a leg up on people with degrees.
Yeah.
So when people say, do you like the 90s? Do you remember the 90s? The 90s was better because people went outside. I think everything was more, you didn't worry about the world.
It's more genuine. It was more genuine.
More genuine?
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
And today is still fake, but I also know I can tell the difference.
Yeah.
And I think the generation that didn't grow up then missed out on the VHS, the VCR, missed out on the struggle, missed out on the, what do you do when there ain't no power? Because we didn't have no generator. Not everybody had fucking generators back then.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Or cable that you had to go out there and turn the fucking antenna to fucking get a clear picture.
Dude, let me tell you about Hurricane Katrina and not having fucking power for like 2 weeks and this shit, man. I was like, God, you weren't an appropriate shirt for that one. Swamp Donkey. That's like, God, Jesus Christ, dude. I was like, oh, it's so fucking horrible.
Hurricane Katrina, I was in Limestone County Jail. But the Limestone County is kind of a bowl in the middle of nowhere, so it's not a great place to be in a rainstorm. And we're watching Hurricane Katrina destroy half of Louisiana on TV, and then the fucking door that's not supposed to open to the exit swings the fuck open because lightning strikes and the wind blows and the rain rushes at the same time and water comes rushing. We start freaking the fuck out. Never lost power, but we was freaking out.
But to go back to how, growing up in the 90s or even like the 80s versus today, with this younger generation that doesn't know basically the world before the Matrix pretty much, right?
It is the Matrix.
Do you think there's hope for stand-up comedy? Because, I mean, like now, like I walk around, I see, go to school and all this other stuff. I see a lot of people that are just hyper offended by everything, and do you think there's still hope for that? I mean, clearly there's a need for it, there's a want, but is it growing or shrinking?
So I will say this. There has been this movement in stand-up comedy to censor people.
Yes.
Like, you can't punch down. You have to punch up.
Yeah.
Nah, fuck that. Nah, you talk about everybody equally. Yeah. How can you be a bigot or a racist if you make fun of somebody equally?
Exactly.
I don't care who they are, how tall they are, how short they are, what color they are, what size they are, who they like to fuck. They ain't got nothing to do with it. If you are a dumbass.
Even if you're not, I'm gonna fucking make fun of you.
Yeah, I mean, if you got the wrong kind, just stand-up comedy is just talking shit. That's all it is. It's storytelling.
Simple as it? Yeah.
It is the art of entertainment through voice and verbalizing, and people just need to get the stick out of their ass.
That's really what it is.
It's almost a conspiracy how they have pushed this mindset of you can't say this, you can't say that, you can't talk about these people because they were oppressed, you can't talk about these people because they were involved in the Holocaust. Okay, well, I can't say, hey, don't do that. That's not right. No, you have to give them money.
You can fucking money.
Wait a minute. This is starting to sound kind of more like the Bible. So there's an invisible man in the sky, and he loves me, but he hates the fags.
Yeah.
He hates them. Can't stand them. That's what Jim Jeffries taught me.
You ever heard George Carline's bit about it?
Yeah.
Where he talks about it, he was like, religion just being the biggest bullshit. He was like, they believe it. He's like, they convince people there's an invisible man in the sky and like just fucking all this horrible shit. And then
And he needs money.
but he just can't figure out money.
Well, can I give him some oranges and some apples? No. I need Benjamins.
George Carlin was great, man. Like I grew up on Carlin, man. Like I really liked him.
No, man.
Sorry, I didn't mean to go off left.
No, you're good. No, it's just people gotta lighten up.
Yeah.
People gotta lighten up, man. You gotta quit getting offended. You know what I mean? I understand if something bad fucking happened, and you just taking away from people's constitutional rights, or But it's this whole thing. Like, you gotta bring back a little bit of bullying, just a little bit, just a little bit. Not, you know what I mean? Not to drive somebody to suicide. But enough to where the bully gets their ass whooped or something. It's okay.
Yeah, like back in the day, sticks and stones.
I don't want people to kill themselves.
I was bullied in school. It was a fucking nightmare, dude. I remember coming home off the bus and there'd be 5 dudes standing there ready to whoop my ass. Here we go.
God,
all right.
damn it.
And I did not win. I've gone to school, my face fucked up. What happened? Oh, me and Justin got into it again. Now, did it build character? Maybe. I don't know.
I think it does, to a degree.
But I survived it.
I'm not saying that, like, a kid has to be bullied and picked on.
You just got to get your ass beat every day.
But I think, like, the threat of violence is a really good motivating factor to, like, change behavior.
It'll cause you to maybe rethink some of your actions. I mean,
yeah, because I feel like the young generation, try to bring us back to, like, stand-up comedy, is they want everything to almost be, and I hate to use the term, but, like, a safe space, And it's like, that's not what comedy is, man.
That's not how the world is.
It's not even how the world is. Like, honestly,
Comedy's supposed to be raw.
Yeah.
That's what I like.
That's why it's fucking comedy.
Yeah. Safe spaces ain't right. You want a safe space, you go to motherfucker take a yoga class, go get your latte, read a book in a fucking, you know what I mean, one of them coffee shops. There's your safe space. Comedy's not for that. Like, and there's comedians that have different styles. You have your clean comics, you have your church comics, you have what they call blue comedy, which is inappropriate comedy.
Yeah.
But, I mean, and everybody has their taste. But don't go in there sitting there, well, he said the F word. That's inappropriate.
Yeah. And if you don't like it, don't fucking watch it or listen to it.
Because I'm going to come out with some dick jokes off the top. Because I'm at the stage of my comedy career, dick jokes are still funny. Now, if you want some fucking great Lewis Black shit, you know what I mean? I'll get there eventually, but we ain't there yet.
Sure. I love Lewis Black, man. Like,
man, Lewis Black's one of the biggest liberals out there.
Yeah.
That's fucking comedy.
But,
and he has a bit, and I know people don't like to talk about politics, but the whole bit he has.
That's what we talk about a lot on this
show.
show.
The whole bit he has is the Republican Party is a party of bad ideas. And the Democratic Party is a party of no ideas. And you just have to figure out which bowl of shit tastes better.
I like it. He really meets the audience in the middle with that shit,
I always... He's one of my inspirations as far as my aggressive comedy.
Yeah.
Because he has that real aggressive rant.
And, like, aggressive comedy is a dangerous thing to do because it's not something you can sell short. Like, you can't just be like, oh, he was okay at it. It's either you're going to bomb and eat shit entirely, or it's going to be an amazing set. There is no in between when it comes to the aggressiveness.
You can't scare little white women in the front row. And as a big dude who's boisterous with tattoos, I tend to scare little white women. I'm sorry. Don't worry, I can't catch you. You know what I mean?
Don't worry, you can outrun me.
Just walk away from me and they'll get away. But no, man, I've had to learn to pull back because you can be too aggressive.
Yeah.
And Lewis Black has honed that aggressiveness to where, y'all remember Dennis Miller? And his rants that he would do on HBO.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you have Dennis Miller and you have Lewis Black, and you see how they both pull from each other.
Yep.
And both of those have actually molded what you see in Bill Burr.
Yeah.
And Bill Burr is one of the best rant comedians. I remember Bill Burr from the Opie and Anthony days.
Oh, shit.
I listened to that radio show.
Yeah.
And that's Bill Burr, Patrice O'Neal.
That's throwing it back, dude.
Man, those guys were fucking brutal. You want to complain about comedy? Go listen to Opie and Anthony.
You want to talk about rants with Bill Burr? Have you ever heard his Philly rant?
Yes.
Holy shit. That might be the single-handed best performance I've ever heard in my entire life.
Fat mothers. 9 minutes, 23 seconds. And your fathers.
So for the people who don't know, like, essentially Bill Burr was doing, like, a huge festival, and they had, in Philly, and they had comedians slotted, and they were already paid, and they were like, okay, you got to go up for, like, 10 minutes or whatever, do your show. And of course it's in Philly, so it's like the worst fucking crowd imaginable, right? They're heckling, they're like not giving a shit, they're talking over the comedians, and Bill Burr just gets pissed. And for like 10, 15 minutes, he comes out and just rips their asses, dude. And he does it so well. At every minute that goes down, he's like, I got 9 minutes left. I got 8 minutes. He's counting down. And he nonstop is just like, fuck your city. I hope your fucking football team never wins a goddamn Super Bowl. I hope that fucking bridge collapse. You got one fucking statue of a guy that doesn't even exist. Like, dude, just go. If you need to look that shit up on YouTube, man. It is wild. And then by the end of it, though, the crowd is fucking clapping, dude. They're cheering. Like, he won them over.
He shit on him so bad, they just love it.
Every level, every time he calls the time, the joke gets a little bit more offensive.
Yes.
And he goes a little bit more deeper. And by the time they're like, oh my God, this is art. Thank you, Jesus. He wins the Philly. It's never been done.
Yeah. Dude, one of my biggest dreams is just at one point to have Bill Burr just yell at me. You know? I think it'd be really cool. Just, like, shut up.
I think one day when I actually have money, I'm going to get him to do one of those. What is that? You send him money.
Oh, the
and they give you a
cameo?
greeting,
Cameo? Yeah.
And just have him fucking shame me for 5 minutes. Motivate me to get up every morning out of bed. Have y'all ever watched Andrew Dice Clay?
Oh, yeah.
Right, so have
He's
you
been around
heard
for a
the
minute.
album Andrew Dice Clay where he bombs?
No.
He doesn't get a single laugh. I wish I could remember it because it makes no point if I can't remember the name of it. But there, if you look up Andrew Dice Clay, there is an album that he did, an audio, it's not a video. He did it in a club. He didn't get a single laugh.
No shit.
Have you ever heard the joke where you're about as funny as a glass of milk?
Yeah.
That comes from that video, that audio. He's so bad, this guy gets up with his wife and walks out. He goes, you're about as funny as a glass of milk. And Andrew Dice Clay rips him a new one, and nobody laughs. There's not one laugh for fucking 60 minutes. And it's the funniest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life. He knew what he was doing, because he did that intentionally.
Yeah.
He said he wanted to create just an album where nobody laughs. And it wasn't an album it was an album for comedians.
Yeah.
And it was great, man. And
so he intentionally went into it, was like, I want to create an hour where nobody laughs.
This is hype Andrew Dice Clay. Early 90s,
Yeah.
Fucking got the
Leather vest,
jacket, Miss Muffet, you know what I mean? Doing that shit.
Oh, yeah.
He just goes to a club, has them record audio, and go and just fucking eat shit
Jesus
for
Christ.
60 minutes.
You know, he's making a comeback pretty hardcore, man.
He's a genius. I remember the movie he made.
Yeah.
Where was he fighting vampires? I don't even know what the fuck he was fighting. Zombies, gang members. I don't know. It was some like cheap Chinese made movie. Like the words didn't match the mouths and shit.
Yeah.
He's some kind of badass.
Yeah.
But no, Andrew Dice Clay is just one of those guys. If you study comedy, you have to study the old guys.
Yes.
Study your Andrew Dice Clay. Study your Bill Burrs.
Yeah.
But Andrew Dice Clay, everybody likes to lean on.
George Carlin is one that I lean on really
Everybody
heavily.
likes to lean on Lenny Bruce. Lenny Bruce wasn't that fucking funny.
Yeah.
I guess it was funny through the time.
I hate it's an unpopular opinion. I think it might be a generational thing. Because like when I listen to it, I'm like, yeah, it's comedy, but I'm like, I'm not sold into it.
Red Fox was fucking hilarious. Same fucking time.
Yeah.
There's
That
Lenny
is
Bruce
true.
people. There's Red Fox people.
Oh,
Give me
what
Red
was
Fox
that TV
every
show
day.
he had? Was it Sanford and Son?
Sanford and Son. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun,
Dude,
dun,
he was
dun.
so fucking funny, man. Red Fox was hilarious,
Yes.
dude.
And he taught Mr. Miyagi was a stand-up comedian.
No shit.
We're gonna learn something new today. I found something I don't think a lot of people know.
This is actually true?
Mr. Miyagi you have to look, he does stand-up. He did a roast for Red Fox or with Red Fox.
Uh-huh.
He is a protege of Red Fox. He
shit.
toured with Red Fox. And when
What?
you hear Mr. Miyagi do stand-up comedy, it is not wax on, wax off. Bro, he sounds like a Def Jam comic.
Jesus Christ.
My
man.
entire life has been a fucking lie. Now I'm like, I need Karate Kid with this guy. This is who I need is Mr. Miyagi. It's Mr. Miyagi. Because he worked with Red Fox, so you can see hear the similarities in the tones and the way they tell jokes. I need that guy on Karate Kid. We need to make this movie happen. Like that's what the hood Karate Kid should have been. But no, Red Fox, man. Harlem Nights. Have y'all ever seen Harlem Nights?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Long time ago, but yeah.
Gonna shoot me in my pinky toe. Hey, motherfucker, shot off my pinky toe. I love that movie, man.
Dude, I go down like the rabbit hole, man. Sometimes, like, I know, we live in the age of technology and everything's great and CGI and AI and all that crap. But dude, man, I get on fucking Amazon. I just rent movies from like the 80s and 90s all the time, man. Like, I just throw it back, man.
You rent movies? I don't even rent movies.
It's
if I ain't getting it free on the apps that I'm already paying for it, I'm bootlegging.
Yeah.
Well,
Are you on the bootlegging campaign? Are you pro or anti-bootlegging?
I cannot confirm nor deny.
I'm gonna bootleg that shit. Fuck y'all. Take me to jail. I'm gonna get my 5 minutes. I promise you that.
I have a hard drive that might have a huge library of movies on it. Don't worry about it.
I ain't downloading them. I'm here. I'm not here for a short time. Not a good time, not a long time. This is shit you get. I just don't want to go pay $20 to sit in the seat I can barely fit in to eat some fucking halfway done popcorn for a movie I might like.
Hey, yeah.
I need to see it. I'm just like, all right, yeah, I'd watch that. Because I've had some disappointments.
Sure. Isn't that the worst, man? Like, when you're, like, committed, like, I'm going to fucking do it. Whether you got the family, you got the friends, or whatever. You're like, I'm getting to the theater, I'm getting the popcorn, I'm getting the Coke, all that shit. And then you get there and you're like, this is a fucking piece of shit. Like, can we walk out of this piece of shit right now? Like, fuck this,
What was that Miss Pat movie, that comedy she did about the scary house?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, man, we went to the theater that has the nice recliner seats. I watched it. I took the kids. I thought it was going to be funny. Oh, my gosh, it was awful. I couldn't follow it. Then the new Ghostbusters, I tried to go watch that. It was really...
I didn't like it, man.
Sorry.
I was like,
women shouldn't be Ghostbusters. I'm sorry. I mean, you can be, but not all of y'all. Like, yeah, we got
not those women. Let's put it that way.
That was that woke area. I don't even like saying the word, but that's what it was.
Dude, they could have made a couple of fine, hot Ghostbusters. That would have sold it a little better. Would have been better.
Well, you're bringing up like the woke shit, man. I do actually want to talk about that. Like, dude, we're getting out of that. Like, but we had about 5 years.
People are getting fucking tired of it.
This is fucking bullshit, man.
Well, that's because the psychological warfare has changed.
We getting on conspiracy theories.
What do y'all know about that? Well, I mean, y'all are military, so y'all have at least heard a paper or read something about fifth generational warfare.
Yeah.
And the psychological operations.
That
whole woke shit was a psychological operation.
Yeah.
That shit comes in layers. There's a guy named Lieutenant Michael Aquino. Lieutenant Colonel Michael Aquino. He's the only guy to ever he's some kind of version of Satanism. I think it was Septism. It's actually recognized by the United States military as a religion.
Oh, no shit.
He's a civilian lieutenant colonel. He didn't go through boot camp. He was never put out in the field. He somehow got in, and he started the psychological warfare in Vietnam. Because MK Ultra started on the back end of World War II. Because World War II is when propaganda picked up, and then you went off into the Cold War, and then you got your psychological operations, and you have this and that, you got your remote viewing over here. Vietnam is when they said, you know what, we can change things, the styles of war without firing a shot. So while all of these people are over here dying, they're working on going in, changing governments, changing hearts and minds. He wrote a book on it. He's wrote several books called like Mind Wars, some shit like that.
Yeah.
He is the father. What they do in psychological warfare when they train these guys in psyops at Fort Bragg? What's the one in North Carolina?
That is what is in North Carolina?
They changed the name.
I know what you're talking about, dude.
I know what you're talking about.
That is where the station of the majority of the training is done.
I don't know if I told you, ladies and gentlemen, an often side effect of marijuana use is short-term memory loss.
Hey, man, I can get you down the rabbit hole and get the whole map, right? I tell you, I got the map up here.
I know where it's at.
Let me put it on against the wall. All right, you guys got to trust me. It's over here and over here.
I didn't mean to cut you off, brother.
But Michael Aquino created the blueprint for psychological warfare. And how that works is the psyops never stop. They stack. So when they brought in the media, the government, when they started using the media to campaign their psychological operations, which happened, 60s, 70s, 80s.
I would even say like the 50s, really.
50s.
Like, based on what I read, like you're looking at like mid-50s.
Yeah, and all of that got meshed together. So when you see, there's actually a video for psychological operations on YouTube, and it's a recruitment video, came out a couple of years ago, Ghost in the Machine.
I've heard of this.
All right, watch that video. In that video, there will be a still shot of a shadowy figure with ears, just like it kind of pokes out, just like Michael Aquino's. And it's almost like you're seeing the back of it, you can tell the haircut. That is an image of Michael Aquino with his face taken off, just a shadow image.
Yeah.
He created that program. He was the brainstorm of it, you know what I mean? There's been a lot of names for the programs because that program...
The chief architect.
brings in MK Ultra, brings all that shit. And that is where you start getting your Nigerian candidates and shit like that.
Bro.
That's where, because a lot of times these guys that are doing crazy shit you see on the news, just happen to spend some time in Fort Bragg.
Oh, yeah. I'll tell you,
cell phone pings in Fort Bragg.
I'll tell you one that's crazy. Like, this is a real thing. So, like, Moses and I, we have to cover, like, stories and stuff, like, current events. So, we read about them, get a background so we actually kind of know what we're talking about. If you go back to the Bud Light incident with like, Dylan Mulvaney and all that stuff, the transgender, like, hey, we sponsored her podcast and everyone was boycotting Bud Light. Well, we were like, okay, like, whatever, this is some bullshit, who gives a shit? And we started reading into it. The CEO of that company was like not even 35. He was in the Marines, got out of the Marines, went to the CIA, worked for the CIA for a few years, and then was a fucking CEO before the age of 35 of a Fortune 100 company in America? Are you fucking shitting me?
With no prior experience that ties the two together.
Yeah.
So what happens is...
We're going to bring you on to do another episode about just conspiracy theories.
I want to leave y'all with this. Because y'all
we got to get up out of here soon.
Right, well, we're trying to make this quick. Y'all look at it. Y'all were enlisted. Y'all have seen the inside of how the military works.
Yeah.
They bring in these private contractors. Mm-hmm. These people that are on bases. They're doing programs on base. Nobody really fucks with. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And they might have a guy, a colonel, lieutenant, whatever, running it or whatever. But it's these private companies, and they're testing things, vaccine here, a training program here, psychological warfare, drone flying, all this little shit. And all of that also branches out into your universities. It branches out into your scientific labs. It branches out, and the stuff that we can't do here, like technically MK Ultra is illegal here in the United States.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I can't do that. I cannot put you in a room and do MK Ultra. But I can send you to Canada.
I got black sites all the way around the world.
I can send you up to this lab in Canada, and we're going to do a couple of things. We're going to make sure that you're the healthiest that you can be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For whatever reason. Oh, by the way, we have this extra program. We'll bump you up a little bit in pay. We'll put your rank up a little bit.
Yeah.
You'll get some lead
You're already
time.
here.
Would you like to do it? Yeah. And they pick these soldiers. They watch them. As soon as you enlist, they watch them. Mm-hmm. There is somebody somewhere sitting watching, going through all the files of all the soldiers. When something happens and they do something over here, there's somebody watching that. Just like there's somebody listening to all your little conversations. And when they come through, where do you think that trillions of dollars in all these buildings go that have no fucking windows that people are working in and clocking in at?
Or what about the trillions of dollars they can't account for, and they're like, we don't know what happened. And like the next day, 9/11 happens.
Where it goes. They can't tell you that there's an old AT&T building in Dallas, Texas, that has 4 floors beneath the concrete basement where people are working, just analyzing data. That's all they're doing is
what the fuck are they doing?
They bring up all this shit like they're worried about all these these storage for all this internet and shit, and the places that they're building to store the internet information. I guess it's data centers. Mm-hmm. Okay, so the data centers, they've had tens of thousands of data centers in the United States of America with people working in them.
Yeah.
And all they're doing is transferring that to those centers.
Sure.
That's the only data they're collecting. They're collecting data on that because they have the ability to collect data on every human being on this planet. You bought a phone. That's why everybody has a phone, a computer.
Yeah. I've actually seen it in person.
It's not. This is stuff they used to think was conspiracy theories. And then all of the whistleblowers started coming out.
Dude, I got fucked up. I read fucking Edward Snowden's book, man. Dog, Permanent Record blew my fucking mind. I was like, Jesus Christ. But Brandon, I hate to cut it short, man. We got to get out of here.
Next episode, we're doing conspiracy.
Let's do it, man.
I'll bring my files.
Yeah, man. Dude, let's do it. All right, man. So plug your stuff, man. Plug your company. Plug shows you're doing.
First of all, follow Small Price Productions on Facebook. Dakota Price. You can find me, Brandon Ryan, on Facebook. I'll be the fat guy with the stain on my shirt. Instagram is Swamp Donkey Comedy. I think it also tags Brandon Ryan, so it's the shirt. You know what I mean? So I think it's Swamp Donkey Comedy as well on TikTok. Just follow, shoot me a like, whatever, help a brother out. You know what I mean? Got to feed the family. Come out to East Texas anytime. We have tickets available. Always Small Price Productions. And man, it was great, man. I want to come back. This is fun,
dude.
Oh, yeah,
Thanks for coming on.
Alex Jones and shit next
Yeah,
time.
100%.
Dude, you're officially in, man. Anytime you want, the door's open. Man.
All right, man. I appreciate y'all.
All right,
man.
cool.
This has been great.
Thanks for watching, guys. Check us out next week.